Welcome to this quick-fire explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating ancient clash between immense political pressure and an absolutely unbreakable spiritual duty, right out of Numbers chapter 24. We've got under 3 minutes, and it's a fast-paced story of prophecy, power, and standing your ground. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this with a truly majestic quote. "How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel." This soaring, totally unprompted declaration actually kicks off one of the most famous blessings in history. And the crazy part? It was delivered by a guy who was hired to do the exact opposite.
All right, section 1, Balaam blesses Israel, a trance in the wilderness.
So according to the text, the prophet Balaam decides to skip his usual enchantments. He just looks out over the wilderness toward the Israelite tribes and falls into a divine trance with his eyes wide open. And this brilliantly illustrates Israel's future using this lush, vivid imagery. I mean, he describes them spreading forth like riverside gardens, planted securely like massive cedar trees. He says God brought them out of Egypt with the unstoppable strength of a unicorn, lying down like a great, unbothered lion. And then he caps the whole thing off with a definitive warning: "Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed is he that curseth thee."
Moving on to section 2, the king's fury, a clash of agendas. Now, what's really interesting about this side is the perfect contrast. As you can imagine, King Balak, the guy who hired Balaam, has an explosive reaction. He is literally smiting his hands together in fury. He paid top dollar for a devastating curse, and instead, he gets a threefold blessing. On the left, we've got Balak's transactional desperation, offering wealth and great honor just to curse his political enemies. But over on the right, we see Balaam's absolute boundary. He refuses to compromise his spiritual mandate, flat out declaring he cannot go beyond the Lord's commandment, not even for a house full of silver and gold. Which brings us to section 3, the Star of Jacob, the unprompted prophecy. So Balak fires Balaam on the spot, right? But before he flees, Balaam stops and drops one final, completely unprompted prophecy. "I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel." It's just a completely cinematic moment. Balaam is looking with awe way into the latter days, foreseeing this distant, powerful ruler, symbolized by a star and a scepter, that's going to rise from Israel long after both he and the king are gone.
And that leads right into section 4, Fall of the Nations, the ripple effect of the scepter. Let's look at the immediate, devastating consequences this future scepter is going to have on the surrounding rival territories. We're going to rattle this off quick. It's basically a hit list of doomed nations that completely reshapes the ancient geopolitical map. Moab will have its corners smitten. Edom and Seir, they become possessions. Amalek perishes forever. And the Kenites will be wasted and carried captive by Asher.
So, what does this all mean? The crucial point to take away is the overwhelming, absolutely unstoppable force of this historical prophecy. As Balaam wraps up this intense vision, he leaves Balak, and really us, with this exact lingering question from the text to ponder. Alas, who shall live when God doeth this? It's a profound thought to chew on, as both men simply turn and go their separate ways. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.